Hi guys. I don't know. Sometimes I can't get into this. I don't know what happens. Good morning. How is everybody?
Good morning. Good morning.
Did everybody get their scripts?
Yes, I need to pull mine up. Hold on.
I called you back, David. Did you get everything together?
No, I got your message. I'm sorry. No, that I think that fell through. I've been trying to contact that the lady about the property, and she's been ghosting me this last few days. So
Oh,
that
she
don't
put
work.
you on Naco Island.
Exactly.
No call island.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I cannot find, I've been looking up and down where my hard copy of my scripts are. But when I was doing heavy into production, this coach that I had, he's recorded his. So I thought it may be like a good idea for you to listen to how he posture himself so that when we practice our scripts, it will resonate with you. Good morning, Bob. Did you guys want to hear that? They're like little sound bites, and he breaks it down into sentences. Remember last week or the week before, we talked about how to memorize a script and why it was important, the do's and don'ts, and why it's an advantage. And it's just really to keep you in focus. And I think he does a good job of posturing himself. So if you guys have anything else to talk about before we do that, or if you guys are interested in that, I thought that might be a good thing to do
I love
because
to hear it. I love to hear that. Awesome.
okay, so you got to remember I've been in real estate for 20 something years, so my conversations are a little direct and they're a little different, but I'm going to share that with you. And I have it on my disk, so I'm going to try to figure out how to do that. Hold on one moment. Share. Come on. Oh, wow. What the hell is that? Um, okay. And you guys can talk while I get this together. I don't know what's going on. Oh, here we go.
Hey, Kendra, quick question. So I know you were saying your scripts were more direct because of when you got them. Did you have also recruitment scripts that you had out of curiosity as well from prior to joining EXP?
No. Um, I owned my own brokerage and I just kind of did again conversational. And a lot of people, I had specialized in foreclosures and loan modifications and short sales. So really, that saying you attract likes. So people that really wanted to come to my brokerage was really sold on it already because they knew what type of business that I was doing. So I never really actively went out in the field to recruit agents. More agents just came to me that wanted to, because I had so many foreclosure listings and I needed the help. So it was really like giving candy to a baby. But I do use the scripts that Scott gives us, with EXP, and I have those, and even, what to do in LinkedIn. And I still do that on a daily basis as far as their methodology of how they recruit or attract agents. and I just have conversations with them, but I have turned those scripts into just what they are. So there is a mythology to that. But you have that, correct? The 5 steps?
Yes.
Okay. So I do that now, but prior to coming to EXP, no, I didn't. So did you guys want to see the listing presentation or the FISBO investor? I think we said we were going to stick with the listing presentation. Okay.
I would love to see the FISBO as well if we have extra time as well.
Okay, I'm on your time. I can go to the beginning, which is an introduction. Basically, it's like 20 seconds. I'll just go here. But I have the whole actual thing in writing, but I don't know where I put it. So I'm gonna share my sound.
Hi, this is Bob Leffler with Fearless Agent Coaching and Training. If you're listening to this recording, it's because you're already a coaching student of ours, or perhaps you're considering becoming one. Either way, we want you to get the most out of this recording, and here's the way to do it. You're going to listen to each track as if it were a separate little mini presentation. Maybe listen to the track, me doing it, then you try it, then you listen to me do it. And keep doing that until you're able to get that track before you go on to the next track. Today we're doing the listing presentation. By the time you get to this point, you have rang the doorbell, you've smiled, you've paid them a compliment, you've taken them directly to the kitchen table, you have not toured the house, you go directly to the kitchen table, you sit down, and then you're going to give them a nice little introduction that's going to get their head right, let them know what's at stake. Then you're going to give them a nice outline of what's about to come so that they feel comfortable. And then we begin with the questions, and you'll see how it goes.
So instead of me telling you, I just wanted you to hear it from the horse's mouth. So,
Well, let me show you how I work. And by the way, before we begin, I just want to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to meet with you today. Really appreciate that. And I want to let you know, I'm not here to take a listing just for the sake of taking a listing, because anybody could do that. And by the way, are you familiar with something called the expired list? I printed one up. And what this is a list of people that have two things in common. One is they chose to do business with an agent that allowed them to fail. In other words, their house left the market unsold. They were unable to go through with their plans. And number two is, in my opinion at least, those sellers and those agents never should have agreed to join forces in the first place. I think you'd probably agree with that. So here's what I've done. I've created a step-by-step process that if we follow it, it's going to absolutely guarantee you and I that we do not end up on a list like that. Can I share that with you? So the first thing I want to do is just ask you some questions. And really more important to me than your house is you and your plans and how I can help you get there, or if I can help you get there. And then I'm going to have you take me on the grand tour of your house and show me all the good stuff, point out any improvements that you've made since you've lived here. Maybe show it to me the way you'd want me to show it to a buyer. Then we'll come back here to the kitchen table. I'll give you a brief but complete idea of how I do business completely differently than all other agents. At the end of that, you're going to have all the information to decide whether I'm the agent for you or not. And if I am, then we'll talk about the second most important decision you're going to make. And of course, that would be the pricing. And I think more important than a price is a pricing strategy that's going to assure you that you're not leaving any money on the table behind that you should be taking with you. And then I'll give you a very conservative idea of how much would be on the check that you would end up with at close of escrow. And I think if we do all these things in that order, then there's no chance we end up on this expired list. Fair enough?
How do you like it so far? Is it too much?
I like it. If anything, it reminded me to go back to showing that expired list, because I typically go straight for the gusto and show active and sold to kind of get a good price point. But when I started in real estate, I used to do the expires and got away from it. But it reminded me I have to get back to that expired to give them that hard data first.
Exactly. And so he practices NPL, which is like a neural. He uses trigger words. If you heard, how do you want your check? You heard uh more importantly. So there's some trigger words that inspire someone to, for you to get the listing. And it really works. And that expired works better because you're starting off with fear of loss as opposed to competition. And so he teaches you how to do things differently than all other agents, even though the other scripts work, the Tom Ferry, the Mike Ferry. I mean, there's tons of them that actually works, and I've used all of them. But this I really use for my FISBOs and the takeaway for everything. If you go in with that confidence because you have something to really offer them, it really really does work, because they're thinking you're going to come in with the same script that everyone else has came in with.
First question, I guess, is, where are you moving to? We talked a little bit about that. Oh, okay. So you're moving there. How did you pick that area? Oh, okay. That's great. Now, part of my job is to find the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more for your house than anybody else in the whole world. So that's the goal. And you never know what their hot button is going to be. But let's say we find that world's best buyer. This is the one buyer that's going to pay you more than anybody else ever would. And for whatever reason, their hot button happens to be, I want to move in here as quickly as possible. So for the right amount of money, what is the quickest you and all of your stuff could be moved out of here? Okay, great. Now the flip side of that is the sign goes up, the clock is ticking, people are coming and looking at your house, people are coming and looking at your house, people are coming and looking at your house. Did I mention people are looking at your house? Oh, and by the way, the sign is still up. It's starting to get a little rusty. The clock is ticking. People are looking. And at some point, it would occur to you, or you'd say to yourself, gee, this seems like it's taking a little too long, or I'm a little worried, or I'm a little concerned, or I'm a little upset, or I'm freaking out. When would a feeling like that just begin to kick in for you? Okay, great. First question, I guess, is, where are you moving to? We talked a little bit about that. Now, if we were to join forces, what would you want to have as the number one guaranteed result from our business relationship? Okay, great. Now, you know what most people tell me? Most sellers tell me what they're looking for is an agent that can demonstrate right up front exactly how they're going to get them absolute top dollar for their house, so they can end up with more money bottom line than they can get any other way. Would you say that's true for you too? Now, remember these people here on the expired list, we talked about them, and we agreed that they had a couple of things in common. One was that they chose to do business with an agent that allowed them to fail, and their house, they weren't unable to go through with their plans. Number two, in my opinion, those sellers and those agents never should have agreed to join forces in the first place. We agreed on that, but they all had a third thing in common. And that third thing is this: at some point, before their house ever left the market unsold and before it ever expired, it occurred to them, hey, we have chosen the wrong agent. Maybe it was 3 weeks down the road, maybe it was 3 months down the road, but they said, hey, I've got the wrong agent. They're not doing their job. Now, hypothetically speaking, and I hope this doesn't happen, but let's say you decided not to join forces with me and Fearless Agent Realty, and you went with Red Rug Realty, Brand X Realty, some other company. And what happened to these folks happened to you. And it occurred to you, you have chosen the wrong real estate agent. What do you think the real estate agent would be doing wrong that would make you know you had picked the wrong agent? Tell me. Okay, great. So that's one. So bad communication. Okay. All right. So it's that. Okay, great. So obviously then if we were to join forces, one of my jobs would be to make sure you don't have bad communication, house not being shown, house not selling, that kind of thing, right? Okay. Now, the flip side of that is we do business, okay? And I want you to imagine a year from tonight, okay? You're living in your new house in the new area. You're loving your new house, and you're looking back on tonight. You've been living in your new house for a year. You're looking back on tonight, and you're saying, wow, the best decision I ever made was listing my house with Bob and Fearless Agent Realty. What a great decision that was. That worked out fantastic. Now, what did I do to get you that happy? Tell me. Okay, great. All right, I'm writing that down. Okay, super. All right, great. So now I have not shown you how I do business yet, and I'm going to in a little bit. But I'm curious, when we're all done, if you're absolutely convinced that by joining forces with me and Fearless Agent Realty, that your house will sell, you will get absolute top dollar, you will end up with more money bottom line than you could get any other way, and none of that bad stuff you said you wanted to avoid would happen. And assuming that the amount on the check that you'd be getting at close of escrow was attractive to you, would there be anything keeping you from listing your house with me tonight? Okay, great. Well, let's go take a look at your house. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, you've got a great house here. And let me show you how I work. So obviously, I work for Fearless Agent Realty, and I don't know how much you know about our company, but the real reason that I chose them is they do the best job of helping me help you find that one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more for your house than anybody else in the whole world. And again, that's the goal. And I don't know how many thousands of dollars less that your house would sell for, or how many thousands of dollars you might lose if I was working for the second best brand, but it's not worth it for me to find out. That's why I chose Fearless Agent Realty, because you're worth it. Now, one thing that sometimes people don't realize is that not every location of Fearless Agent Realty is created equal. The East Side location that I work with, they have a couple of extra technologies, some extra programs that, again, make my job that much easier in helping you find that world's best buyer that's going to pay you more than anybody else ever will. And of course, that's the goal again. When we do business with a buyer, it's going to be on a form similar to this. This looks like a pretty simple fill in the blanks form, but this is what either gets you into or keeps you out of trouble or court or something like that. So this is something we need to take very seriously, the purchase contract. By the way, this form is these days about 9 pages long, and in 9 pages of fine print, there's a lot of different opportunities for disputes between the buyer and the seller. But they always seem to revolve around who's going to pay for something, right? So if anybody ever tells you it's the principle of the thing, trust me, it's the money, right? So here's something that I do to protect you. If I'm writing the offer myself, which is very unlikely, the great likelihood is some agent that I've never met in my life who happens to have the world's best buyer for your house has already written the offer by the time you and I ever get to see it. and I'll be in the position of reviewing that and making sure that all the protections that should be in there for you are. And we very likely will do a counteroffer. But either way, if I'm doing a counteroffer to some other agent's offer, or I'm writing the offer myself, I'm going to put these words: sellers to pay the following costs and fees. And then I will itemize by name the costs and fees that you agree to pay or are required to pay given the circumstances. And then I'll put the magic words: buyers to pay all other costs and fees. So when my cell phone goes off on the freeway and the other agent says, hey, who was going to pay for the appraisal or something like that, I'll just say, you know what, you can read the offer or the counter offer. That will answer that question for you, and the little disputes never get cooking. Keeps things friendlier. The most important event in our whole process is when I present an offer to you. And here's how that goes. I'll be here. You'll be here. If you want somebody here advising you, that's fine. I'll be here advising you. You know, the buyer's agent actually might be here, and the buyer will not be here. So we'll go through the offer with you. And then once you understand what it is, then you and I will go off into the soundproof booth away from the buyer agent, and we'll make a decision on what you want to do. You will either want to accept it as is, or perhaps do a counter would be very likely. Now, if we do a counter offer, that can be perceived as bad news to the buyer's agent and ultimately to their buyer. But I'm a big believer in that there is no such thing as good news and bad news. There's just good and bad presentations of news. So we want the buyer to feel like they are winning the lottery lucky, even though we are jacking them back up to full price. Any questions on how that goes? Okay, great. When I present an offer to you also, I'm going to fill out a worksheet like this so that you know exactly what your estimated proceeds will be, and you'll be basing your decision on whether to accept or do a counteroffer based on one number, and rest assured that you're covered in the contract. Any questions on how any of that goes? Okay, great.
So, I mean, it does go on. I don't know if you guys want to see everything, but so I usually bring this like a binder. I don't know if you guys can see it. And it has a copy of the expired list, like just a copy of it. And it's probably 20 pages, and this just kind of keeps me on script. But if you notice, he says he presents the purchase agreement, and he says something like, this is can get you into legal trouble. So what I do a lot of times is I had a closing package that was like 70 pages to make them feel like that's overwhelming. And I do that when I was doing the FSBO properties. So I had a FSBO presentation book, a regular expired, because he goes from the premise of expired. But on my FSBOs, I would have a whole stack of, non-existent papers to show them this is the stuff. Any one of these pieces of paper can get you in legal trouble. You got it? I can go on. They're like a minute a piece, or I can go to the FSBO one. Which would you prefer? Keep going? Okay.
Well, I think Theo wanted to hear the FSBO one.
Okay.
I think I remember him asking for that.
Any questions, any comments, any feedback from that? What we've done so far? You like it or no?
I like it for sure. I just want to know,
Good
how do you
stuff.
gonna stuff the pages in today? Because I know how you was doing it. Initially, it's like if I were to do the putting in, would I still bring in a paper expired meeting with a seller in 2022, or how would I guess get that same effect of adding additional pages in an electronic manner in 2022? I guess that would be my question.
So this is a listing presentation. Typically, I do physically talk to, I'm physically in front of them. So I still use a copy of what the what the listing is. Now you can have this whole presentation on your laptop. And we do have a listing presentation through EXP that you can download on your laptop and do it that way. So all of this stuff can be uploaded into, a presentation when you're in front of the client. Either way, even if you're doing a Zoom, you can do it similar to what I'm doing now. But the point is for them to see how many expireds had been in that area. And this is just one way. I have other scripts, and Bob and everyone else has other scripts too, um, that may be a little different. So you kind of have to go what type of client it is. A lot how I was getting when I first started in real estate, it was calling expired people, getting back on the, getting their property back on the market.
Kendra, how long have you been in real estate?
Ooh, since 1987.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're like a guru, like an OG. Okay.
Yeah, I've been here for quite some time.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
see.
awesome.
Let's see. I'm trying to get back to where now how I get in the door. I wish I can upload these. Cold calling, because I called on for sell by owners, which is still a good thing because a lot of people now, right now, if you go on Zillow and you go to make me an offer, or you go to just, Realcom. I mean, there's so many people out there that are selling their houses by themselves. I'm trying to get back to the main screen. How do I do that?
Yeah, I believe Zillow a little while ago took the owner's contact information off because you used to be able to go directly to the homeowner. That's how I started
Right.
out calling FISBOs.
Okay, so this is the FISBO. Oh, move this. Is this it?
Hi, this is Bob Leffler with Fearless Agent Coaching and Training. If you're listening to this recording, it's because you're already a coaching student of ours, or perhaps you're considering a way. We want you to get the most out of this recording, and here's the way to do it. You're going to listen to each track as if it were a presentation. Maybe listen to the track, me doing it, back before you go on to the next track. Okay, today we're going to learn the for sale by owner presentation. By the way, this presentation was originally designed by the world's greatest sales trainer in real estate in history, Floyd Wickman. And I have redesigned a couple of parts of it and improved some things. So I wanted you to know where this came from. So it starts with 3 facts and 6 reasons, and then a close. So here we go. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to meet with you tonight. I really appreciate that. And I want to let you know that I do business completely differently than all other agents. And one of the ways I'm different is I just take everything one step at a time. And the first step is just to share with you some facts that every for sale by owner should know. And there's 3 of them. Fact number 1 is, and I don't know if you know this or not, but the real estate industry has been around in its present form for over 200 years. So for over 200 years, the only constant has been people like you paying people like me full commissions to sell their houses. In other words, it hasn't been for sale by owners. It hasn't been discount real estate companies or discount real estate agents. The only constant for 200 years is people like you paying people like me full commissions. Now, I think it's fair to say nothing in our society could possibly last that long unless we were worth more than we were charging. So here's the question. Would you be interested in knowing the number one reason why we realtors are worth more than what we charge? Would you? Okay. Fact number 2 is that 70% of all for sale by owners end up ultimately listing with a real estate agent or changing their plans entirely. Now, 7 out of 10, you think about that. Now, in a cold market, it might be 9 out of 10. In a very hot market, it might be 5 out of 10. But year in, year out, any market, 7 out of 10 for sale by owners end up listing with a realtor or they end up changing their plans. So would you be interested in knowing the number one reason why that is true? Okay.
I like the way that you have memorized a lot of his scripts, Kendra. Kudos.
Fact number 3 is we realtors can sell your house quicker and we can get you more money, bottom line, for it. Now, assuming that's true, and it is true, would you be interested in knowing the number one reason why we can get your house sold quicker and get you more money, bottom line? Okay, great. Well, there's 6 obvious reasons why.
And remember, this is conversational. It's, it's not exactly like this because I'm walking around at this point.
One reason is that serious buyers are only going to shop for sale by owners to save a commission. Now, just imagine this. If you're a serious buyer, you're going to buy a house and if you look at all the advertised houses out there in whatever forms of classified style advertising there are, newspaper, Craigslist, websites, whatever, about 90% of them are listed with a professional real estate agent, and about 10% of them tend to be for sale by owners. Now, if you're a serious buyer and you're going to overlook the 90% to focus on that 10%, by the way, you're going to overlook the comfort of my car, my gas, you're going to overlook the comfort of my office, my expertise, all the tools I have available to you. And you're going to overlook 90% of the houses for sale to focus on the 10 that are for sale by owners. What do you think the reason would be? Right, to save a commission. So here's the only question you have to ask yourself. Is it your goal to sell to the lowest bidder? In other words, if you have a choice between selling your house to the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more for your house than anybody else in the whole world, or the bottom feeder bargain hunter buyers, I think the answer is obvious.
Well, I mean, I'm sold. I mean, after that, I'm sold. I mean, I don't have to hear nothing else. I mean, he hit every trigger. Do you hear me? Like, I felt it in my soul.
Yep. And it's like, matter of fact, like, you're stupid. You have to have that attitude. Like, are you serious? You're like really trying to sell a house for sale by owner. And the reason I got the appointment, so we hadn't talked about the appointment. I wish I had the script. Let me see. You were absolutely certain that doing business for you. The objections, I can't find that. And remember, I told you that we talk about like, what is it that you hate agents, and then they really fall out laughing. Then I can get the appointment to go in to say this. So I'm looking for that now, and I can't find it. Okay,
The other reason is the law of supply and demand. By the way, it's like gravity. It's not just a good idea. It's the law, right? Now, the way the law of supply and demand works is you have a fixed supply. You have one house to sell. So if there was a way that I can dramatically increase the number of buyers that are dying to buy your house, what obviously is going to happen to the price, right? It's going to go up.
So it's going to go up. And then he named some other reasons. But this is how I get in the door. So if I'm calling someone and I say, hey, hi, this is Kendra from EXP Real Estate. I'm an agent. No, I'm sorry. Hi, this is Kendra, and I'm a real estate agent with EXP Realty. And I'm calling today because my records indicate that your house is for sale by owner. Is that true? And then they say yes. And then you say, how many bedrooms does the house have? Is your yard facing the west side of the street? Or you can, whatever, is your kitchen large, would you say? You just want to ask a question that's in an affirmative answer, even if you already have it. And then they'll just ask you that instead of calling them to say, hey, would you list with me? So you ask them a question just to get them in an affirmative action. And then you say, oh, okay, well, thank you. Well, let me ask you something. You're trying to sell the house by not having it on the market with a professional real estate agent. Is that because you hate realtors? And then they don't even know what to say. They really don't know what to say. And then you say, well, why is that? And then, of course, they're going to say, it's because I can, save money. And then you say, really? Well, let me ask you this. If you knew absolutely for certain that doing business with me, that two things would happen. One is that your house would actually sell, and the other is that you will end up with way, way more money, bottom line. And then you start, then you can say, is it okay if I can come over Tuesday or Thursday from, Tuesday at 9 or Thursday at 1, just to come look at just to come look at the house. I actually have the whole thing down, but I have shortened it uh quite a bit, but I can read the whole thing. So it says, let me ask you this. If you knew absolutely for certain that doing business with me, that two things would happen. One is that your house would actually sell, and the other is that you would end up with way, way more money, bottom line, than you could get any other way with or without an agent. And I know that that's a big promise, but if you knew that, Bob, would you at least hear me out? Be honest with me. Sure. Great. Well, here's what I like to do. I like to find a time when I can come over and take a look at the house. And while I'm there, I can do a couple of things for you. I can give you some tips on how to make your house sell faster. And I'll show you how I do business differently, completely differently than any other agent. And I like to meet with people in the afternoons or evenings. So, um, are you a 9 to 5 person? And then you go, you pick your times. So that's how I get them on the phone and at least get the appointment. The whole point is just to get an appointment in the door. So that is my for sale by owner.
I like that. Kendra, I like that script. I bet we all do. Does anyone not see themselves using that script? Works for me.
I love that we have all the variety of scripts. I'm gonna be a devil's advocate because I
Sure.
think so. Let me just put it this way. I had a contractor that came out maybe last year to fix my air conditioner. I had a few of them come out, but this one, he left my house. He was red in the face, and he never sent me an estimate because I think we're gonna have all different types of sellers and buyers, and so everybody's not gonna take to certain types of communication. So to me, the script is good, but it's almost like, don't try to make me feel like I'm stupid. And that's what that person did. So I think it's good to have like the different scripts. So I like it
Mm-hmm.
for certain
Yeah.
buyers.
Like I said, it's a strong script. This isn't the only one I use because really I didn't need a script. So, but this does work, and it usually works obviously for men. But I do have I don't have a softer script, but when I could just change it a little bit. But the key words are that you do business absolutely differently than any other agent out there. That is a positive thing to say no matter what you're doing. But yeah, it is harsh. I told you that up front. It doesn't work for everybody, but there's 4 types of personalities in the world. And usually the ones that this would offend would never do a for sale by owner. It's the ones that have ego. Like uh what I want to say, the analytical people are not going to do a for sale by owner. It's usually the winter personalities and things of that nature that's actually going to do it because they think they can do it themselves. An analytical person is going to do all their research and hire a professional. Typically, it's the analytical one. I mean, the winters and the summers are the typical ones. What is it? The S's and the I's or the D's are going to be the ones that's going to do for sale by owners. And they're going to be the most rudest. So you got to really distract them. You got to disrupt their thinking because they're already on they're already on attack. So when you ask them a couple questions, like I always ask, because I got a lot of people that are of different nationalities and they have issues with the door has to face west or the backyard has to face south or they can't, the front door can't do the back door. So those kind of questions are relative that may not be on whatever information that they have out there for their for sale by owners. So I always try to get them off keel and make them have at least one element that may not be in the listing ticket. Like, does your house face north? And then they're like thinking like, wow, I didn't do that. So I'm already putting them in a position like, wow, I'm doubting myself already. Or do you have a homeowners association, no matter how small it is? Because there's some neighborhoods and subdivisions that do have like a $50 or $60 fee that you have to pay for the flowers in front of the subdivision. So you just pick one of those things and that gets them off kill already. So because they're already in that, and like, wow, I didn't even think of that. So when you say, well, let me ask you a question, you're trying to sell your house without having it on the market and without having a real estate professional. Is that because you hate realtors? It kind of lessens the blow. But this is an NLP type of presentation. So I'm only dealing with emotion. And whether the emotion is negative or positive, I know for sure that he's going to remember me. So when I call, and I know the average, it's just a numbers game, which is true. It may be different now from, 2018, 17, when this video was made. The statistics are still the same for sale by owners. I thought it was higher than that. I thought it was like 90% of for sale by owners within the first 10 days are recognizing when they're starting to get that feeling that this is a bad decision. Even though they may commit to 30 days, they know my name. So when I do my follow-ups every, you know 10 days, every 5 days, I'm in the running, especially if I get the appointment.
So what
Yes.
you're saying, Kendra, so what I've noticed, I wrote it down. You're very good, and I need to improve my follow up, my scheduled follow up. I'm going to star that lead, it's a warm lead now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They know your name. You're going to call them again in a couple of days, offer them another tip or another value,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually get in the door of the property. Because you're right, statistically, the realtor who gets in the door, has an exponentially better chance of being the one to list and sell that property. That's interesting. Follow up.
And KV Core has a great follow up I mean, there's so many other things that you can do. You can do a bonbon video right after, depending on what kind of rapport you have. You can send them an instant URL with their address. You can send them your mobile brochure that is in EXP that you can text them. So I incorporated that, like, hey, well, it depends on how the call goes. Well, listen, is it possible for me to just leave some information? Do you prefer to get it text, emailed? Some people are text, or I can, if I feel that they're tech savvy, if they're a younger couple, hey, let's meet in the world. Would you like to meet on the boat or the pirate ship? And let's talk. It just depends. But because we have so many tools and resources, you can take that, a couple steps further. I had a techie guy that preferred email and, the technology. And I said, well, hey, I'm just curious. Do you want to do a listing presentation? I can come to your house still, but I would love to meet you, especially if they're gamers. I tell them, hey, we're the first metaverse company out here. Would you like to meet? And I can do my presentation in our meeting room, for if you're curious about how we really work and how many people are collaborating with me to get this done, to get your house sold, and to find out one buyer on planet Earth for you. Or, let's take a ride. It's cold outside. Would you like to go on a pirate ship and talk? And then they just crack up. So, was that informative? And do you want to try some of those? Because we can pull up some for sale by owners too. But I did have a list. I did I give it to you, Chandra, or Jewel? A list of leads. I just was curious to see if anything came about those with
The
those
other
lists.
part of the law of supply and demand is the timing. Now, in this area, I don't know how many realtors there are, but let's say there's 1,000. And let's say each one of those realtors has probably 5 buyers that they're in contact with. So you got a total of like 5,000 buyers out there. The average days on the market at this time is about 120 days. So if it takes 1,000 realtors with 5,000 buyers 120 days to get their sellers their money, how long might it take the for sale by owner?
Now, of course, that doesn't apply right now. These houses are flying off the market. But I mean, it goes on. If we can do it another time because it's so late. I didn't realize it was this late. We can take this bit by bit. But if the for sale by owner, we can work on, and we can pull up Zillow or Craigslist or Realtor.com and see if we can find some names and numbers. But I think Derek said that they don't display the numbers anymore. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, I haven't checked in a while, but like I think at the middle of last year, they had removed the seller's contact information on there.
For what? For sale by owners?
FISBOs, yeah.
Well, how
So
do
yeah,
they
because
think they're
that's
gonna
all
get
it.
in touch with them?
Good question. I guess they'll get the address and ride by there, but I believe they removed it. Or you have to contact the agent or something. It forces you to, Zillow forces you to go through one of the premier agents.
Well, you can is that for sale by, because I got my for sale by owners by doing, let me look. I haven't looked in a while. Sell. Confidence in your agent. I'm looking for make me an offer. Why is this?
I'm looking at for sale by owner 2 here for everybody. If I find something to Derek's point, I'll bring it up.
So I normally go into, it used to be called make me an offer. Is it here? For sale by owner. You could do this with foreclosures because foreclosures are coming back. For sale by owner. It's called Make Me an Offer. Where is that? Huh. It may not be up here anymore. Zillow's changed, but it was, let me see, for sale by owner. Do you see it?
No, it's
Okay.
back on there. I'm looking at a Fizbo 9 mobile.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Yeah,
they took it
it has
down.
yeah, they took it down for a while because people was making YouTube posts about it. It's like, okay, where's the seller contact information? And they was doing a lot of videos that Zillow removed the seller's contact information on there. But I see it. I see one now that just listed.
Right. You could
And the
do,
thing here about the Fizbos here in Mobile, the price is the pricing. They're listing it for sale by owner, literally $150,000 over the comp. It was
right.
one guy I looked at. Uh, it was a beautiful house, but he wanted $700,000 for the house, but it was nothing near there over five. Everything was like 488, 470 something, and he had it on for sale by owner for 699. I was like, oh my god! It was like, all right, and it was a beautiful house, but it's $200,000 over everything else in the neighborhood.
Well, a lot of times they do that just to get some fillers out, but that's good practice for you
Mhm.
because you never know.
Yeah,
But
and he
there
had it
is,
listed. He had an agent actually listed it. It was listed for like 380 days at that price.
oh wow.
And I was like, what listing agent would, why would they? And then you hear their, just stick the sign in the yard and you get leads. I was like, you're not doing your job. Your job
Hmm.
is to sell the house, not to market yourself.
Well, that's a philosophy that a lot of people do have, and that is to generate leads. So you're generating leads for yourself, so I can, that's some people's philosophy.
Yeah,
If
I'm
it's
still
not
new.
a
I'm
waste
still
of
new in the
time.
game. So it's just to me, they hired you to sell their house. They didn't hire you to, hey, I got a listing in Heron Lakes, right there on the golf course. You
Yeah,
know, and people
but
ride because a lot of people do ride around that. Everybody will live near here by the beach or by a golf course. So of course they see the sign in the yard and they call. It's like, well, how
hmm
much is it? Yeah, 600 grand. Yeah, good, good. Well, thank you. Well, are you in the market? Are you working with a realtor? And then you
yeah,
just that's not the purpose of it. No,
right.
that's not doing your job. You're not providing a service to your client
But
by doing
I
that.
think a lot of times, and I went to a seminar with that, and Land Voice does that too, because they have a for sale by owner where they don't charge it's and you can get it discounted. I use that for like 9 months. It's pretty good. And you get names and things of that nature. And their goal is not necessarily to sell of that house because it's a for sale by owner, and if they're overpriced and everything, so you set that expectation up front. But what it does do is, and I've even talked to for sale by owners, hey, listen, I got that, you got this, you're not going to list with me, but guess what, when you find that buyer on planet earth, at least let me drop off some material, some documentation to keep you organized. And what I would love to do is, if whoever you don't choose, you probably got about 50 people coming through your house. If I can use that list and sell them a property, I will, give you a gift. So for sale by owners can help you build your business even if you don't use that listing, if you get a good rapport with that person, even if you help them out a little bit, drop off a sign-in guest sheet. And then you can say, well, hey, Bob, hey, Derek, listen, I got that you got this. I am here to help you. I just want to drop off, a sign-in guest sheet just to keep you organized because, this is the hottest house on the market. And I know you have this down pat, but once you do find that buyer that's on planet Earth that's going to buy your house, can we work out something where I can take the other 49 and maybe, maybe something to turn into that. And if that does, I'll be happy to give you a gift, dinner for two. Good idea, right?
I think it's a great idea because now you're beginning to um, make smaller ancillary agreements with
Mm-hmm.
that prospect, and you're seeing how excuse me, how they may negotiate, and you're kind of showing them that you're creative and you think outside the box, and it's that kind of thinking that's going to get Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is going to get your house sold for the most money. I like that. I wrote this down. If we were to join forces, what's the main thing you expect? And I like you, if I or we find that one buyer on planet Earth that will pay the highest amount. I like that. So this is my takeaway today for that. I like this guy's scripts, and I like the fact of how you have captured these scripts and internalized it. My big question for the panel today is how do we get our little hands on these valuable scripts that you have?
I am looking for because it's actually the whole transcript is typed out, and I unfortunately now I do have the call for the FISBO to leave a message, but the actual script sitting down, I do have them on DVD, but it's a DVD. I don't even have a DVD anymore, so I have to figure out how to get that to you guys. I don't know how to it's right here. I don't know if I can share this on a Google Drive. I don't know how to.
Yes, you can share it on a Google Drive, and then from there, just put the link in the affinity group and make the Google Drive shareable so that anyone that has the link can access it. Only the link, not just random strangers.
That sounds like really technical. So maybe I can do a Zoom with you sometime when you have some time in the next couple days
Yeah,
and give you access to, because you can have access to my mouse and figure it out. If I can't figure it out with the drive, I have it on this little thing. If somebody knows how to do it, all the recordings are on this little these UPSs or whatever. But
USBs.
yeah, and it won't download everything because it's saying my Dropbox, which I didn't know was in my Dropbox, is full. So I got to figure all that out.
You probably can just
So
upload the stuff that's on your USB straight to Google Drive and then go
I
from there.
tried
So you don't
that.
have to do that.
When I plugged it in, well, we'll talk later.
Okay,
I'll let everybody go.
I got you.
So, do you guys want to make some calls? Maybe later today, and other people have scripts, so we can use those too.
I know today for me, I have a few agents I've been kind of dripping on the agent attraction side. I know for some FISBOs, and as I was telling Bob, I just really need to get down and just say I'm gonna man up, so to speak, and make that time to make those calls. Because my other agent on my team, he does it. He's starting to see success with it, and I don't really have a fear about cold calling. It's just a matter of making the time and actually doing it and being consistent with it.
Okay. Well, I do have some leads that you can call if you want to. These are for looking for buyers. If you have a script for that, that'd be fine. And let's just get on a 90-day train to success and getting some people just organically through these processes. I think this will be a great story in 90 days if we stay consistent with it. Also, I'm doing a lunch and learn, margaritas. We're gonna have some fun, just a meet and greet on Cinco de Mayo. If you guys want to come out, that's fine. We are going to do like a short overview, but the goal is to just network and be outside, not outside, but in a facility and just talk. We're going to have some nachos and tacos.
What time is that?
And
It's going to be
Where
11.
is this at? Where is this at? Sounds fun.
this is going to be at Perique. The second one, I thought I'm gonna have to wind up. It's hard to get. Yeah, well, I'm gonna wind up doing a flyer. I've been waiting on a flyer for about a week. So, and I am going to blast it through our affinity group, which that's been working for me, guys. So if you want to do that, because I show some extra value that we offer through that affinitygroup.com, and people are like, oh, you can get access to this. Don't forget we have this. And I go through this and I tell people this is for our whole team. uh you get mass where the KV core is. I'm giving out boost your sales, agent attraction link. You can get one yourself. I think it's like a little over $10. And if you want to, you don't have to, but it shows them. It's free actually.
Kendra, do you happen to know when and where?
It's on the
Yeah.
website.
It's on the website.
I'm looking at it now, and yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I tell people we have, meetings. I'm trying to get all these recordings uploaded and, shrunk down, but this is for us just to show that we are together. And it has all the stuff on it. I'm giving them KV core training, business mastery, sales mastery, all of that is in there. If you can use this, and it's duplicatable for you too. If you want to simplify your recruiting process, you can click this button and it can replicate for yourself with your information. But I was trying to get people to put videos on here. So far, Bob gave me one, uh, and Selena gave me one. If and just why you like EXP, and I can get it uploaded so that it's on here. This is all for you guys.
I'll do a video and I'll text it to you, Kendra. I'll probably do it more than likely before the end of the day. If you do not hear from me Friday, I'm giving you full permission to blast me and say, hey, Theo, where's the video? Please.
Nah, yeah, I like that because I like blasting people because I get it myself. So sorry it took so long, but I've been looking for this stuff for a week. So I'm trying to find out where everything is. There are a lot of YouTubes. Kobe Colton is who I really love his stuff. He's on YouTube and he uses Fearless Agent and he sits on the phone. I don't know, he's maybe out of production now. It's like in Utah, and you can see how he also does the scripts, but it's pretty much like it, but he has fun with it. I mean, it's just fun. I think his name is Colton. He may be out of production. You can look at the old ones and he'll sit there for hours, similar to some of the people local.
Hey, Kendra, is it infinitygroup.com? I don't know why I'm not pulling it up.
It's the infinityregroup.com.
Oh, Infinity RE Group.
Okay. I'll put that in the chat, guys.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to get these videos uploaded. I know I have to figure out the YouTube. This just wasn't a priority. I think Sandra said she can help with that. So I'm gonna ask her to upload some of the stuff. I'm gonna try to scan these scripts and upload these scripts in here. Also, Jonathan Dupree, I have his book full of scripts. It's a big, thick book, but he has some good stuff in there as well. And he also has an agent attraction script in there. I just have to see how to upload it because it's a pretty big file. But all this stuff is right here. I'm tried to put everything in one little location so that when you're talking to someone, you can say, well, hey, our group is fun. You know, we do some things in the morning. Here's some other new resources that we also provide for the people in our group, because we're technically not a team. So I didn't want to use team, but we are a collective entity. And that's why I said infinity, because it's everything. So I'm still looking for videos from you guys.
You know, Kendra, I'm sorry,
Yes.
and Theo, I got I got a big thick head here, and I infinity. Did I spell it right? INIF.
AFF. IN.
Oh, it's affinity.
Affinity.
Sorry. AFF INIT.
I went ahead and just put the link in the chat for everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, I know we're overdue. Sorry about that.
Oh, I appreciate everyone's time and attention here. There it is. Yep, there it is.
Great call, great call. Have a great day, everybody. See everyone in the morning.
All right, $1 Million Day, guys. Same bad
Oh, yeah.
channel.
All right, guess what today is for me?
What? So,
Today is closing day!
yes! Yes!
Closing day. You like my new sign? I
That
hate the
is
keys.
bad.
I hate the keys. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So I said, you
I
know
can't
what?
see it all the way.
I gotta. Let me zoom out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just a square. It's a square.
Yeah, it's a square. And guess what? You got my pretty little face on it.
Your handsome face on it.
Yeah, sold. Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
baby. I like that. The word sold.
Yeah, like I said, when I tell
Thank
people,
you,
yeah,
guys.
if they don't like me now, wait till they start seeing my pretty little face all over Mobile.
That's
'Cause
right.
I'm plastered everywhere.
That's right.
You know, and then like this was I was thinking I might do this next week. So they're doing like a lot of it's election season here locally. So they're doing like a lot of campaigning and they stick all these signs everywhere. I think I'm gonna print me out about 100 signs and stick my sign on every corner. And everybody probably gonna think I'm running for office or something. Like, no, I'm trying to sell houses.
Right. You put it out there. Put it out
I'm gonna use
there.
it as a marketing strategy, like all these politicians
Absolutely.
do around here.
Right. And what make it what? Red, white, and blue?
No, it's gonna be black and gold.
Okay, black and gold. All
Yeah,
right. Are your signs
with
black
my
and
face.
gold too?
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, I had I'm doing a whole remarketing. Well, yeah, I'm
Branding?
rebranding. Yeah, I'm rebranding new colors and everything.
That's good. Yeah, are you did you hire somebody or are you doing it yourself?
No, I'm working with Mike Sherrod's group
Oh, good. Okay.
with high converting content.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm working with his
Did
group
you buy
also.
the did you buy the program or whatever it
Yeah, I
is?
bought it. Yeah, it
Okay.
was
How much was it?
it wasn't cheap.
Thousands.
Just
Okay.
about 25.
25,000?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's a 9-month period. So it's like $3,000 a month for 8 months.
Okay.
Like 24.
Well, let me
But it's
know
a
how it's
total.
working
Yeah,
for
I'm gonna
you.
give it a shot. Like I say, like they say,
Yeah.
you got to pay to play. So, hey, I closed a couple of new home construction deals. I was like, you know what? Let me take this thing to another level.
Yeah, Mike Sherrod, I mean, you should hear them on the call, and he's no different. I mean, he will cuss, he cusses, and I I really love him. Yes. I didn't know that it was open for people that wasn't in his downline, so that's good to know.
Yeah, we just finished my links. So
Okay.
let me post my links thingy on. So if you click on that, that's my links.
Yeah, it's hard to see. My
Looks good.
son is in my,
Looks good.
where are you at? Let's see.
I just posted it on the chat. So
And they
when I
said,
do my,
are they going to set everything up for you, or you have to
yeah,
still kind of? Because I know
Yeah,
GoGo has
it's more, it's
one.
like a collaboration,
Uh-huh.
but whatever you tell them to do, they'll do it, basically.
Okay. Have you talked to Mike or Connor?
No, I haven't talked to Mike directly. I talked to Rhea. Rhea's like his number one,
But you
number one
haven't
partner.
talked to
No, I
none
haven't
of
talked to Mike directly
okay. All
outside
right.
of, you know, inboxing and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm getting more information
But
about it.
weren't
But
you doing Jay Kenders too?
yeah, I was doing Jay Kenders, but I wasn't getting the feedback and attraction because I needed more. So I needed more as far as
Oh,
like
this looks
just
good.
not just the ads, but the whole entire branding part of it. But yeah, I do the ads. So it's going to
Okay.
be the ads, it's going to be the marketing, it's going to be the YouTube and everything, because you want everything to look uniform. So
I
it's going
guess
to be like that across all platforms,
well, you're
and it's
getting
going to
some
be
clicks. You're getting some clicks right now from your panel here, Derek. So you're getting some traffic on your new website, man.
oh yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna start doing my YouTube videos probably next weekend when I have time.
Okay.
When I
Now,
finish all the onboarding training.
do they give you the content for your YouTubes, or you're still on
Yeah,
your
they gave me
own?
a whole entire 6-month plan.
Okay.
Yeah, all 6 months worth of content to post, to create, and actually you can do it over a 4-day weekend. And what they do is they take it, and the company takes it and adds the music and do the B rolls and the photos and stuff like that, and chop it up and do the voiceovers and everything for you. And then they post it, they time the posting out and post it all up for you. So you just basically buy the groceries and upload it to your Google Drive, and then they cook it up and serve it out for you.
Okay. Yeah, he's really good. So hopefully
Oh
you'll have
yeah.
the success that let me
Him
know
and
because I'm
Sumi
waiting to,
Kim
huh?
and Sumi Kim also, because he's like a second year realtor, and he did everything strictly YouTube. And in January, he closed 15 million.
Wow, that's
In
awesome.
January, yeah, and it's all based on the YouTube channel, all based on new home construction, because he does, and that's my niche, new home construction. So he
Correct.
posts new home construction videos and do walkthroughs and stuff like that, and it's just like, oh my God. And he launched this channel December of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and just did
Okay.
full average. And same thing with what's his name? LASIK. What's his name?
Jordan?
No, LASIK. LASIK Lasky or something like that. What's his name?
Lash?
No, he's like a 3-time icon person. Let me
I
He
mean,
did his
we
on
got,
YouTube. Tex, he was a military guy.
well, I don't follow pretty much. I mean, I don't follow them like that. They're in my beta group. So they give us that information. So that's good to know. I need to reach out to him and see. So he gives you the scripts or you have to create the idea for what you're going to say on your.
Well, he gives you the ideas.
Oh,
Like
okay.
everything is for the content.
Right. Okay.
Well, I haven't even had a chance when because I was like, okay, what I need to post? What the first thing I need to post? And
Uh-huh.
then the guy said, well, here's your plan. And he sent it, and it was 6 months worth of it.
Okay.
This video 1, video 2, video 3, video 4, video 5, 6 months worth of it. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Okay. This looks good.
Mhm.
Good.
I wish I could find
This I
something
like
like,
your branding. It looks nice. And all these are links, right?
yeah.
Express
That's great.
offers.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Website
express
looks amazing.
offers, the credit my rent, the what's call it, the UWE
Your
part of it.
your ebook. Okay, all that's right there. That's awesome. And does that lead to your website, The Perfect Home? Does that go to EXP
Yeah,
that
that's KV Core.
Play Core? Okay, that's what
So that
uh
captures the prospect right in automatically in KV Core.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You go to KV Core and you
Wow.
start clicking around, and it forces you to log in.
right.
And I like the animation that, you know, when you scroll down on Derek's page, you guys, once in a while you see one of those squares move and grabs your attention, and it flashes and it grows. Pretty cool. Nice animation.
Oh yeah. So, but like I said, it just I'm working on it. This is a constant work in progress.
It is.
But yeah,
Branding yourself
definitely like
is,
it
yeah.
definitely see like I tell people, like, especially when you start out, just like post houses. It's like new lead, new lead, new lead, new lead. Like back to back to back to back. So this is what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna get on the phone and call, start calling.
That's awesome.
Digital marketing work, and that's how it's just numbers. You got to do the numbers. So I got
That
to
is
let me
true.
get on. I got to do my lead gen, guys, and I'm gonna call
All
this
right.
Fizbo. Look at this. This
Go
this.
for it. Go for it. Give us some feedback for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna call this person like right
That's
now.
right. All right.
And
You
then
guys
so
have
I
a good
looked at the
day.
price. Oh yeah, we gotta go. But I looked at the
Bye.
price when I pulled the comps on it, and yeah, that price is about right. So I'm gonna find out why they selling it Fizbo.
Yeah. Just ask them, just not a stupid question, but an obvious question that may not be on there, just to
Mhm.
break the ice. You got to just change, because they're so used to people calling just to get the sale. But ask
Yeah,
them something off key, and then say,
yeah,
hey,
that's
let
what
me
I
ask
do.
you
I
something.
call. Well, I asked about the weather. That's the first thing. Hey, how you doing? This like, hey, what's his name? John Gary.
You're going to ask them about the
His name
weather.
Gary. Yeah. So I was like, ring, ring, hello. I was like, hello, is this Gary? They're like, yes. Hey, Gary, this is Derek with EXP Reels. How you doing today? All right. He's like, you enjoying this weather? It's warm enough for you? You're like, huh? What? Yeah. You're like, are you catching in this rain? How was your weekend? I start out with a conversation.
Right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
say, then of course, then I go into the script. Well, the reason for my call, I noticed that you have your home up for sale by owner, and then go from
Right.
there. So tell me about it. And then you just ask a question. Yeah. So okay. So tell me about it. How many beds, how many baths, and then of course I'm looking at it looking at the thing. You already know, of course. But I just you get them to talking. Start a conversation to get them to talking, and then of course this is what I do. I always pull up the comps on it to see is he crazy? But everything in this neighborhood is about $300,000-$400,000. So I got to find
Mm-hmm.
out why is he selling it for sale by owner.
Yeah.
I can you can have this thing on up. You can have multiple offers on this house in literally 5 hours if you listed it with a brokerage.
Right. Okay,
So
well,
all right,
just let us
we got to
know.
go,
Go
people.
ahead.
All right,
You
talk to you
have a
guys
good
later.
day. All
All
righty.
right, bye bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Kendra.
Uh-huh. Bye-bye.